Good morning. How are y'all? Welcome back to Casey's Take. I know it's just a hair early today, and we're back at the house. Y'all can see the old wood panel walls behind me, and we are starting just a hair early today. Had some other stuff going on later in the day, so needed to. The 5 minutes were important, I promise. So, but thanks for showing up early if you did. And actually, while I'm talking about that, I'm gonna go ahead and share some of this stuff on some of the other pages, but. Uh, we're going to talk about a lot of the same old stuff that everybody else has been talking about. Oh, look at that. I'm saving. Lord have mercy. I've got audio going everywhere. I don't want to hear myself talking any more than y'all already do. Let's see. Now, I will say that we're going to talk about the TCU Georgia preview. I want to talk about that. I think that's not exactly what I thought was going to happen. I had Michigan actually tearing apart TCU, but we're going to talk about that as well. We're going to talk about the Michigan kind of falling apart. We're going to talk about Tennessee boat racing Clemson, which I was also very incredibly wrong about, and thank God, I'm happy I got that one wrong. But now that that's done, got it shared, I can concentrate. We're going to talk Tennessee, and I don't have it on any of the templates, but we are going to talk about Damar Hamlin and the injury and a little bit about that. So we're going to have more than just a few takes today, but that's all right. But let's go ahead and get on into it. First take, we're going to talk about those the playoff games from last weekend. Now, before I get too far into the games, I'm going to explain something else to you. I'm 30, so I'm not too old. I'm not too young. I don't go out and party too hard on New Year's Eve, but I'm still young enough that New Year's Eve my team wasn't playing, so I went out to a buddy's house and we had a party. We had a little bonfire and hung out and did all the fun stuff people do on New Year's Eve, and we did not have any internet service out there, so I actually did not watch those games, and I didn't know until I think I got home about 7:30 the following morning on New Year's Day, and I didn't know that Ohio State missed a kick to beat Georgia. Now, I thought that game could be close because I feel like both of those teams are pretty good. I thought Georgia was better. I thought Georgia should have won, and probably by more than having to get away with a field goal there at the end. I think it was 1 point, 42-41. And I expected Michigan to slaughter TCU. So you can imagine my surprise. Now that night, I had a buddy of mine, actually Scott, the other coach of the Creekwood Bowling team, one of the other coaches. He was actually texting me updates throughout the evening. So I saw that TCU was up huge on Michigan. Michigan made a little bit of a comeback there at the end, but Michigan never really deserved to win that game, never really deserved to be in that game. TCU dominated the entire time, and good for them. Way to go, Horned Frogs and Sonny Dykes. The people at SMU have got to be so mad. That their coach leaves, goes to the rival, and now he's at the rival school, and they're going to play for a national championship after going like 2-11 last year or whatever it was. Maybe not that bad last year, but TCU was pretty rough. Dykes has done a really good job down there, so good for them. But man, that field goal for Ohio State, and good God, everybody is climbing up that kicker's rear right now. The Twitter was wild. I follow a Twitter account called Message Board Geniuses, and basically it's an account on Twitter that shares the takes or whatever people say on these message boards, and there are some wild fans out there. There was one guy that was, he said that the kicker for Ohio State was a double agent. He said that he lost on purpose, missed the kick on purpose. What was the other one? Somebody else wanted the kid's scholarship taken away. People are crazy. But if you have a Twitter account, you need to go follow that. It's hilarious. The message board geniuses, I think that's what it's called. Go look for it and find it. If you can't find it, I follow them. So go to my Twitter account and find it through there. But now, getting back to something I was kind of alluding to begin with, I knew a few years ago whenever they moved the first round of the playoff games, actually the playoff games, but I knew when they moved them to New Year's Eve, that may not necessarily be the best plan, because I know that a lot of their target audience is guys around my age. And I don't know if you've ever been a guy around my age or known a guy around my age, but given the opportunity to hang out with friends and party, I may not watch football. And I didn't. Me and my buddies, we played cards and hung around, like I said, hung around a bonfire, shot the bull, as they say. All the fun stuff you're supposed to be doing. They shouldn't have these football games on New Year's Eve, man. Everybody wants to go out and do something other than hang out in front of a television for, one night out of the year. So, really bad idea to have it on New Year's Eve. Terrible idea. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a little quick DMA read. We're going to let you guys watch the commercial, which we all know is basically the best part of this entire thing. Other than the high school sports segment, commercials are tremendously better than the first through third takes. But Casey's Take brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. He provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522. That's 615-441-4522. Come on.
At Dixon Medical Associates, your health is our number one priority. With over 40 providers, our goal is to bring excellent, convenient, and comprehensive medical care to our community. Dixon Medical Associates, a destination for care.
I actually just noticed right there in the little clip that they got of me talking, whatever, between the commercial. I always wear my little brother Noah got me a necklace, and I always wear my necklace, and I forgot to put it on this morning. And he just got me a new, I guess a new little emblem or whatever to go on it. It's a little UFO because he knows how much. I mean, there's an alien tattoo. He knows how much. He knows how much I'm into the strange and weird stuff. So, my bad, Noah. I hope you're not watching because I'm not wearing the necklace, but I am wearing my Dragon Ball Z shirt. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. There we go. Thank you, Justin, for getting the little display out of the way. I've got my Dragon Ball Z shirt on, but let's see. Second take. TCU, Georgia. Now, here's the deal. I thought that TCU was going to lose the first round, and I thought that Georgia was probably going to win by more than a lucky field goal. So my ideas on this game, I don't believe they could be any further apart than they already are. So let's see. But I'm probably wrong here. I felt like if it was Georgia versus Michigan, I really felt like Michigan had a chance to win. I felt like this was their best chance to win that I had seen in a very long time. I don't really remember those teams from the 90s. That was a long time ago. I've slept since then. So, but I did feel like this year, this team that I saw, the way they played football, the way they talked about themselves, the confidence that they had, it's people talk about the old school way of playing football. It's not just about the fact that they like to run the ball and be aggressive and physical at the line of scrimmage. A lot of teams talk about that. Everybody knew that they kind of lived that way. Now, I don't have an issue with that. I think that's great. I think that was one of the things that really helped them. They were so different as far as the way they believed that they could do things. But I don't know what's going on at Texas Christian University. But those kids, whatever they believed going into that game, it was better. It was right. So I think Georgia ought to win this game by 17 points. I'm probably wrong. There's just the part of my brain that usually tells me stuff that I would consider common sense is saying Georgia wins this game by at least a touchdown and a half. I mean, at least 10 points, right? But then there's that one little part that he's, that little part is right every once in a while. And it's right just enough that you have to listen to it. And it's saying you underestimated TCU the first time, probably going to do it again. I like the coaching they're doing up there. I gotta say that Max Duggan kid was electric against Michigan. I know that Michigan didn't have all their pieces and this, that, and the other. You can make excuses all day long. I'm great at making excuses, but I'm not a Michigan fan, so I'm not going to make excuses for them. They just got whooped, and Max Duggan was a big reason why. So now here's the thing, though. I will say this. Tennessee has not played Michigan. Tennessee has not played TCU. So I didn't really see my team play those guys, and I feel like I know my team pretty good, even though I got their game wrong last week too. I don't. Maybe what I'm trying to say is maybe I don't know TCU like I ought to, but I know Georgia pretty good. I have to deal with their fans. There's like a million of them around here. It's just like Alabama. Alabama started sucking. I don't see as many of those A's with the mullet on them anymore around here. And now I'm seeing these Georgia G's pop up everywhere. That's about disgusting. And I know you're watching, Brent. I'm talking to you. Now, Coach Patterson bigger than me. I ain't going to mess with him. If he's watching, I'm not going to tell him not to watch Georgia. He can watch whatever he wants. Brent, though, you skinny. I'm not scared to tell you that's messed up. You're a Georgia fan. They're everywhere. But I see them. Tennessee plays them every year. I know what kind of football team Georgia's got. They got a good team. They got a really good team. Smart knows how to recruit. Smart knows how to coach. He's not great at calling games. I mean, I still think about the fake punt with Justin Fields a few years ago. He'll do something ignorant, but his team is so good and his other coaches are so good that if they're up by 24 points, he can do whatever ignorant stuff he wants to. I feel like Georgia's going to win this game. At some point, talent takes over. It helps to have, the best players on the field. And look, I get it. I understand that. I understand that it's not all about recruiting, but Jimbo Fisher said something a few years ago, and I'm going to share this with you guys, and hopefully this is something that it makes it a little bit easier to understand. Recruiting is not everything, but you've never seen a donkey win the Kentucky Derby. You still got to have the right horses, and Georgia's got better horses than TCU. I'm just telling you right now. They got more on offense. They got more on defense. I like the story of TCU. Purple's one of my favorite colors. Horned frogs are cool. God knows they're better than bulldogs. I'm going to catch some slack for that comment. But I don't see any possible way for TCU to win this game. That being said, they probably have a chance to win. But we'll see next Monday. And wait a minute. Is it? Yeah, it'll be next Monday. Sweet. Or this upcoming Monday. Whatever it is for you guys. But we're going to move on to the third take, which is Tennessee Clemson. And then I'm going to talk Damar Hamlin as well. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Damar Hamlin real quick. I was actually not watching the game Monday night. Excuse me, sorry. We had the Creekwood bowling team had the quarterfinals of the region bowling tournament Monday night. So and there wasn't any other sports going on. So after we finished up with the bowling team stuff, I went back to my house, and I'd actually forgotten that football was on. I didn't want to watch any because I was in the championship round of 2 of my fantasy football leagues, which I told y'all we were going to talk about. I didn't win either one, so we're not going to talk about them. But I decided I was down by a gazillion points. I think I needed like 35 points from Jamar Chase to win one of my leagues, which is a very tall task, big ask from him. So, and of course, fantasy football is not what's important right now, but I'm just telling you that's why I didn't watch it, because I didn't have a chance to win, and I really wasn't even thinking about it. And again, this story involves Scott, because I was just sitting there laying in my bed, and I was watching something on YouTube, probably some Call of Duty videos, I think, whatever. And Scott texts me and he goes, "Dude," and he just texts me, "Dude." And I've known this man for 20 years of my life, and it's more than that. I've known him almost 30 years. He's never just texted me and said, "Dude." It's always kind of been, straight to the point. It's usually a pretty quick text message. I know what he's wanting or what he's talking about, whatever, pretty quickly. He just texted me and said, "Dude." And I was scared to death. I didn't know what happened. I thought somebody broke into the bowling alley. I thought he had a heart attack last year. I thought maybe he was sick again or something. I didn't know what was going on. My mind was racing for about 45 seconds until he texted me back. And I said, "What? What's going on? What's the problem? Everything okay?" I think I texted him like 4 times within 10 seconds. And he finally texted me back and he said, "Are you not watching the game? So-and-so," he says, "somebody just got hit. They're on the field. There's an ambulance, all this other stuff." So of course I jump on Twitter and to be fair, I don't know Damar Hamlin. I knew of Damar Hamlin, but I'm not a huge Bills fan, and I'm not a Pittsburgh Panthers fan, so I maybe don't know a whole lot about him. But I went through Twitter, and you see the play, you see the video that ESPN ran a bunch of Josh Allen and some of the others with their hands in their face, their faces in their hands, and really distraught. I mean, you could just tell that was really rough. And also, oh my God, my phone won't stop going off. I'm sorry. But you could tell those men were broken. I mean, from what they had seen, and the fact that anybody thought that they should go out there and finish that game is crazy. Skip Bayless tweeting out what he tweeted is just senseless and mindless and disgusting, to be fair. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if any of y'all saw it, but he was like, "How can you not play this game? It's so important this late in the season, blah, blah, blah." He said it in the tweet. It's a game. This dude legitimately lost his life on the field. There's a lot of things you have to look at. First of all, the other individuals on that field, especially the guys that play with him on his team, they legitimately watched their brother die in front of them. I don't know. Now, he had to be resuscitated on the field. He had to be resuscitated again at the hospital when he got there. Now, there's been great news come out since then. And, thank God, praise the Lord, if that's what you're into, or whatever, Allah, whatever it is you're into, thank goodness that he's doing a lot better. But he died on the field. His best friends, his teammates saw that happen. Imagine trying to be watching your teammate go through something like that, and then people expecting you just to throw your helmet back on, go back out there and play the game. Imagine trying to be T. Higgins. And bless his heart. What else was he supposed to do? He's playing football, and he's the one that hit Hamlin. That kind of, now I don't know if the hit led. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to try to sit here and do any of that. But Higgins hit Hamlin. Hamlin went down, come back up, fell back down. Imagine being Higgins, watch all this happen, and then somebody says, "Oh, you got to go back out there." No, that's crazy. That's nonsense to expect any of these players to be able to play that football game after what happened. But Scott texted me. He said, "Dude, I get on Twitter. I start going through all this stuff. Me and him are going back and forth. Sorry, I'm knocking my camera. But it's a really wild story. I just wanted to say it's ignorant that anybody thought they should have played this game that night, should have finished it out. If you're in fantasy football and that's what you're worried about the most, you need to get your priorities in line. I like fantasy football is one of my favorite things in the world. I'm only good at a few things, and that just so happens to be one of them. I love fantasy football. And yeah, I thought about it. I was like, well, how does this affect fantasy football? How would this affect the seating in the AFC? There's a lot of things that you're allowed to think about. Nobody's gonna. I can't tell you how your brain should operate, but at some point, you got to realize that there's a young man fighting for his life, and hopefully, he's on the winning side of that battle. He is right now, but hopefully, he comes out on top. But real quick. And I think most of us saw the Tennessee game. I predicted Clemson would win 42-31, and I thought Cade Klubnik would throw for a gazillion yards. Cade Klubnik he's really talented, but he made a lot of bad decisions, and he ran backward way too much. Tennessee's defense was nuts. Tennessee scored 31, just like I thought they would, but the defense held them to 14 instead of giving up 40 like I thought they would. Jeremy Banks not playing didn't matter because Aaron Beasley looked like Mike Singletary. So, hey, go Vols. I loved it. That was a really fun, 4.5 hours of football to watch because we know there's got to be at least 87 commercials. But that was a really fun 4.5 hours of football to watch. Joe Milton, I don't know if you gamble or not, it may be worth $20 to put it on Joe Milton to hit the Heisman next year. I know I'm going to throw a few dollars at him just to see if he gets close. But Tennessee, what a dominant performance. And this is, I talked about Hamlin a little bit longer than I expected, but we're going to definitely talk about Tennessee football next week. And in the coming weeks, we're going to go over their season, stuff like that. So make sure y'all check that out. But what a dominant season. What a dominant end of the season. 11 wins, a win over Clemson in the Orange Bowl, the orangest of all Orange Bowls. A beautiful game for Tennessee, a beautiful ending to a great season. That loss to South Carolina hurts more and more a little bit every day. Because, you feel like maybe Tennessee would have been the team that could have beat TCU, or maybe Tennessee makes that field goal at the end to beat Georgia. Who knows? But we're going to go ahead and get that last DMA read in real quick. We're going to watch another commercial, come back for high school sports, and then I'm going to let you guys get out of here. But Casey's Take is brought to you by DMA Orthopedics and Dr. Anthony Tropiano. Dr. Anthony Tropiano provides patients with prompt, effective treatment using the best technology available and in a manner that is compassionate and understanding of their needs. Dr. Tropiano is a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. Call 615-441-4522 today. That's 615-441-4522.
Here at Dixon Medical Associates, we've got you covered from neck to toe. Our orthopedics team offers services in sports medicine, foot and ankle reconstruction, spinal surgery, and more. We also have in-house imaging and physical therapy. Dixon Medical Associates. We specialize in what moves you.
All right, real quick, some high school sports. We've got about 2 minutes, and I'm going to get y'all out of here. In Cheatham County, got a bunch of wrestling stuff. I'm trying to get all the info on that. Hopefully, we can run a wrestling article in the Cheatham County Exchange. I also need to talk about the all-county volleyball team. Had a little photo error with the player of the year, but hopefully they got fixed. I don't think we were able to fix it before it got into the print, but all-county volleyball team just came out for Cheatham and Dixon. This week for Cheatham, we're going to have all basketball teams are back in action. We're going to have a great story. Blaine Keller is going to go get Cheatham for me on Friday night. That's going to be on the front. Blaine's a great reporter, wonderful writer. He's so that's why I'm going to put his stuff up front. Sycamore plays tonight. I think they host Rossview, and then also Harpeth played the other night against Creekwood. They hosted Creekwood. They play again Friday night against Waverly. We're going to have articles for the Harpeth Creekwood game. We're going to have articles, of course, for the Cheatham Friday night game against White House, I think. And then Sycamore tonight against Rossview. Bill Clark's going to be up there and get some photos for me. Over in Dixon, Creekwood and Dixon play basketball Saturday. That'll be a huge matchup. That'll be fun to watch. That's at Dixon. Just a little bit more room at Dixon than there is at Creekwood. So hopefully we can fit a few more folks into the gym. I know that at Creekwood, that place was absolutely packed. It's hard to walk through there. I spend probably 80% of the time on my feet, which is fine. It doesn't bother me to watch a game standing up, but it gets absolutely packed. But we're going to have the same kind of deal Saturday. I'm excited about that. Also, what's going to be in the paper in the next Dixon Post this week was the Girls Region Bowling Championship. Creekwood won. Dixon finished runner-up. It's the first time that Dixon's ever qualified, I think, for the region tournament on the girls' side. And not only did they qualify for a region tournament, they got to the region finals, which means they get a sectional appearance. I think they're bowling at Lebanon. I don't know that for sure yet. As soon as I know the information, I'll probably tweet that stuff out. But Dixon's got a chance to go to the state tournament. Creekwood, they're going to host a sectional. That'll be Saturday the 14th. Both bowling teams from Dixon, from the Dixon area, have a chance to get into the state tournament, and I think that's dope. We're going to have I went and talked to Joey Malone, the Dixon coach. I went and talked to him yesterday. I'm going to do a story on the girls, the Dixon County girls, and how they've improved and their newfound optimism within the program. So great for them. It's going to be an awesome story to write. I need to finish it up. I think that's about everything. I had a Creekwood wrestling what do you call it, schedule, but then I went to go look at it today and the schedule won't open up whenever I click on it, so I got to figure out when they wrestle again. But thanks for coming to Casey's Take. I'm about 28 minutes, not too bad. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I know it was a little early, but I'll let y'all know if there's any upcoming time changes. There's a lot of emails talking about it right now. But like I said, thanks for hanging out with me. Congratulations to Tennessee fans. Wonderful year. Congratulations, TCU fans. You got one more game. Go do it. Go do the darn thing. Next Monday. That's the day. So y'all have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next week.